Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today, as this is a Monday podcast episode where we take a look at a particular special topic. And in today's show, I received some messages and inspiration to share with you about the energies of late November into December that uniquely support those of us who identify as lightworkers, starseeds, empaths, healers, energy guides. You get the idea. Anyone who really feels like they're very tuned in at higher levels of energy and higher levels of consciousness, this is a show for you to support you in your own growth at this time and to open you up to receiving cosmic support over the next number of weeks. And that's because we have 3 lunar events that directly correlate to strong galactic energies. I'll go through each of these points here in a moment, but overall, the energy that's coming in is quite big. It's new energy. It is expansive and bright. It's bringing in new downloads, new messages, new understandings of who you are. And this energy is coming in now almost as if it is both a reward and affirmation of how much you have healed, what you have moved through, the choices you've made for your own spiritual growth. And those of us who are on a very strong and deliberate spiritual path can understand how big it feels at times, how lost you can feel, how uncertain, how it can feel like it's easy to drop into some of these wells of weakness or places of doubt. All of that comes up as we're on this path. And then we have periods of time where the incoming energies are very supportive. They bring in reminders. They connect with your truth. They remind you of your gifts, your talents, your abilities, and even perhaps more of your purpose, path, and mission in this lifetime. So I'm going to go through at least 9 reminders, 9 energies that are very strong and clear for lightworkers, starseeds, healers, empaths. And these energies are reminding you of your own energy field and also designed to help strengthen you with parts of yourself that maybe you have been disconnected from, or you have forgotten about, or maybe some things were put on the back burner, whatever the case is for you. These are reminders of how you are different and why that is important, especially at this time on the planet and this time in your soul's journey. Now, these 3 lunar events that I mentioned are each connecting to various galactic points. Now, this means that our sun, moon, and solar system, in fact, are connecting with higher levels of consciousness, downloads, streams of energy coming in and coming through. They can work with us in a very subtle manner where you are feeling it, you're sensing it. Other times it can feel very intense and dramatic and like it's a very big wave. So these are energies that are incoming that very much feel like cosmic support for your life and perhaps what you're moving into next, or even reminders of who you are in this lifetime. So we just had the Taurus lunar eclipse at 27 degrees of Taurus, which directly connects with the Pleiadian star system. The Pleiadian energies are composed of over 800 stars, and it is an energetic stream of high potentials and light. This is an energy of peace and harmony, calling in and calling forth the best in yourself and the best in the planet. Because the Pleiadian star system lines up with Taurus, it reinforces the Taurus energies in ourselves as well as in your natal astrology chart. And this is where you're really tapping into feeling strong, secure, and capable in yourself, in your human self, and in your ability to enjoy the beauty of this planet. Taurus is about the five senses and how our energies come alive and awaken on this planet, and how these energies are designed to be appreciated, to be loved, and to be something that we truly embrace about being here on Earth. And the Pleiadian energies remind us to have gratitude, to connect with peace, to find harmony, to understand what this Earth offers us that we can take for granted at times, yet it's this beautiful oasis of energies that we can tap into, and we can really live in that frequency and in that vibration. So that is the first energy that connects to the cosmos. The second energy is the December 3rd and 4th Sagittarius solar eclipse at 12 degrees, which is conjunct the great attractor, which is at 14 degrees of Sagittarius. And this is the energy of feeling like big shifts are happening, because when you think about the energy of a magnet and how a magnet can both attract in what is similar as well as push away what is not a match. This energy of the great attractor feels like there's a significant energetic turnover based on how much you have grown, evolved, and shifted. And this energy is asking you to really come home to yourself and look at what you believe is your truth in this lifetime. Whereas you could have been doing a lot of work around your belief systems throughout this whole lifetime, and in fact, across many lifetimes. And when you raise up your belief systems to higher expressions of love, acceptance, worthiness, the energy of miracles opens up, the energy of unlimited potentials, the fact that you step out of a linear process and you can just experience something suddenly because it suddenly arrives, it suddenly shows up. That's the energy working with you. And that feels like a very strong energy signature of this Sagittarius solar eclipse working with the great attractor. So that's the second cosmic energy that we have unfolding. And then the third cosmic energy is we will have a Gemini full moon on December 18th and 19th at 27 degrees of Gemini. This is a full moon, and that means that the sun is opposing the moon, and the sun is at 27 degrees of Sagittarius, which is the galactic center. So now we have the third lunation in a row working with galactic energies, and the galactic center is what opens us up to even higher consciousness, more understandings, really going further in what we can experience in this lifetime. Sagittarius energy is strongly emphasized here, which is expansion, growth, knowledge, understanding that we don't know everything, understanding that there's more to explore, there's more to experience. And if we can stay open to that, especially at a frequency of acceptance, then we're opening up to brand new potentials in our lives because we're shifting our energy. So we have this very powerful process underway where our energies are opening up to more cosmic downloads, to higher galactic consciousness, to parts of ourselves that perhaps we haven't met before. And you could be feeling this at various levels of your energy, various layers of your energy. This can really blast open your chakras, especially I'm seeing that third eye chakra and the crown chakra. There can be a lot of energy streaming in that essentially refreshes your chakra system, that brings in new understanding, new messages, new intuitions. I mean, you could just feel that all of a sudden you're receiving new information and you don't know where it's coming from. You could be receiving new visuals through your third eye. You could have a strengthening of your throat chakra. There's so many ways this energy can come in and work with us, but when we're doing so intentionally, we can beautifully grow and beautifully expand. So with all that being said, this is a very big energy period of support for those who are here to be different on the planet. You're here to live life in a different way, to experience this earth in a different way, and to also experience yourself and all of your energy perhaps in a whole new way in your whole soul's journey. So from that perspective, it's very exciting. Now, I have for you 9 points here that came through as channeled messages, and some of them I've received a few weeks ago, and I was just waiting because I'm like, I know there's more. And then it all came through right before I started doing this show. So I'm going to go through these 9 points that remind you how you're different, how you're supported, and perhaps can help you feel stronger in what this lifetime is about. Now, the very first point that came through, and this made me laugh, is that you're not here to be told what to do. You're not here to be told what to do. And so many of us, we go through the typical programming. And of course, we have parents and mentors and elders and authority figures who give us information, who support us in growing up and maturing and what we need to do with our lives. But then you reach a point where things shift, and maybe you were the difficult person to manage in a workplace. Maybe you were the one who always had your own ideas, wanted to go your own way. You didn't want to follow others' direction. This is a very strong energy for so many starseeds and lightworkers. You're not here to be told what to do. You're here to listen to yourself, to trust yourself, to follow your own path. And this is a very fascinating understanding. Perhaps you realized this earlier in your life, and maybe you had some issues with authority figures or with people telling you what to do or how to run your life or how to do your job. You're not here to be told what to do, and this can be wildly freeing. And it depends on your energy, how you work with it, how you make the most of it. But this is such a strong energy for starseeds, and it can explain a lot, right? It's like this would make sense. Maybe even in your early education or times in your life when you needed to listen and you needed to follow directions, but there was a part of you that really rebelled against it or really didn't like it, because of how you're energetically coded to do things your own way. So you're not here to be told what to do. And at different stages of your life, this can be inspiring and freeing, or it can feel like you're caged and trapped. But just remember that you're here to form your own path and to follow your own energy. And that brings me to the second point, which is that you're ultimately not here to contribute to old 3D energies or old matrix systems. And yet so many of us, we've been through various quote unquote traditional roles, whether you have been through a traditional education system or you have climbed the corporate ladder or you've been involved in various things that you've enjoyed and you've really liked it. What we're here to do is to raise the energy in the planet across all spectrums of life, all industries, all professions, everything that would be open to change happens through the people who show up in that profession or in that industry. And so here we have this energy of a discomfort where you want to do something differently. You want new solutions, new ways of operating things. Perhaps you don't want to work in a company where there is the vertical hierarchy. You're interested in something that is more independent. And again, this has so many different ways it plays out and so many varieties of expression. But this is an understanding that ultimately you might feel this at a very deep level, that you're not here to contribute to old 3D energies or old expiring matrix systems. You're here to do something different, new, to bring in the energies that have been lacking and to perhaps raise the energies in these various industries, professions, and jobs. So that could be helpful, especially if you're in a position that you really love, and maybe it's a more traditional industry. Maybe it's like finance or banking or something that has very specific ways of operating. You might feel that it's time for changes. It's time to elevate the energy. And that's a strong part of being a starseed and lightworker, is that you don't want to contribute to the old. You're here to help build and develop the new. And so this brings me to the third point, which is how we have a portion of our lives in the 3D experience. And this could be that you've had many different roles, jobs, experiences within various 3D expressions or industries. And those could have been catalysts for your awakening, where you started to see, this doesn't fit, this isn't me, this doesn't feel right. But we've accumulated many skills that are necessary. So it's interesting because it's not about necessarily working against a 3D energy system. It's raising it up. It's working with it to move it forward. And in order to do that, we've needed to live a portion of our lives in a very 3D dense environment. So we have had experiences where we've been required to go through certain roles, relationships, situations that are very 3D, but that supported your own awakening and helped set you up for your next chapter. Because by going through the 3D experiences, it also helps you develop compassion for people who are very much in this energy now, who maybe haven't had a spiritual awakening. And by the way, they might not have a spiritual awakening in this lifetime. So the more that we can release expectations or anything that assumes that everyone's going to have a spiritual awakening, that can also bring in compassion and understanding of each person's individual path. So by participating in the 3D energies for however amount of time in your life was necessary, it's helped to set you up to understand more about those systems and energies and experiences while moving forward, but with compassion, with understanding, with the sense of what other people might be locked into and what they're experiencing, because you've been there. And that gives you credibility, right? That gives you an understanding of, oh yeah, I had that kind of role and I wasn't spiritually awake, or I was in that kind of system and I understand what's being required, or I understand what's going on. So it's important to note that this is designed to help strengthen you and provide a higher perspective without turning against it and making it a negative in any way. Instead, it's understanding all of this energy exists on this planet and we have multiple choices. So based on what you've been through, what are your next choices? Where do you want to grow next? And understand that there's a lot to be grateful for from the 3D experiences, meaning what we learn, what we understand, what we develop, that's a part of our experience that we can feel grateful for and understand the wisdom from it and the blessings that came about. Now, the fourth point here that can help you tap into your energy and remind you of who you are is that Starseeds, Lightworkers, Empaths, Energy Guides, you work on a different timeline. You work on an energetic timeline that's different than a date or calendar timeline. So when you're heavily connected to energies, that influences your timeline, meaning your life experiences, how you navigate through your world and make your choices. It's much more about the energies than the dates, than the time on the clock. It's much different than the linear experience of time and space. It's like you're connected to the energetics, and that is really where your life unfolds. And that's why it's also important to have some type of navigation tool like astrology that helps you understand your own energetic timeline. So you work on an energetic timeline which separates you from the calendar timeline, and this can help with your own expectations, your own self-expectations. Because we are raised in the calendar timeline. We're raised looking at the dates and the time and everything that composes a 24-hour day. And when you understand that your energy works on a different timeline, you're able to separate it out. It's going to help you understand more of the flow of your life. meaning you can really feel when big energy comes in, and that might not necessarily be written on the calendar, right? It can hit you on a random Wednesday, or something can show up on a Sunday morning when you thought you'd be relaxing or hanging out or doing something with your family, and then this big energy comes in and it's really significant for you. So you work on an energetic timeline, and that's part of how we're learning to navigate these energies and to go with the waves and to trust your own energetic timeline, because it's working uniquely with your own energy system. And now we're at number 5. And number 5 was one that came through that I have felt so strongly, and I am trusting that you do as well. One of the themes of our life is looking at how well you can sit in discomfort around others who have very different energy. Meaning how well you can maintain your own sense of self and understanding of your energy that can be uncomfortable at times. Because as I mentioned, we have experiences in the 3D. We can really understand where people are at. We can understand it because we've been there. We've had similar experiences, or we know what that energy is like, at least from our own personal perspective. But part of how you're gaining strength in yourself and in your energy is understanding that part of our skill set is developing the ability to sit in discomfort. And the discomfort is between various energy systems. And I'm seeing this similar to a bridge, where on one side, it can feel like 3D energies, on the other side, it's higher energies, 5D energies, and there's a bridge, and it can feel like you have to cross this bridge back and forth. It could feel like there's a sense of your energy is really picking up on a lot, and that can create anxiety or discomfort. And it's how we manage this. It's how we take care of ourselves, how we're able to also work with our emotional selves, our emotional world, when you can feel perhaps waves of sadness at times or grief coming up. And a part of you knows it's not even yours. It's not your grief. It's not your sadness, but you feel it so deeply. That can be uncomfortable at times. And we're learning how to work with various energies and identify what is yours, what is not yours, and then how can you continue to take care of yourself when it feels uncomfortable at times. Now, this can even be the case when you're visiting family or other people that you have relationships with who are not on a spiritual path, who are not interested in any kind of spiritual awakening, who don't get this stuff. They don't care. They just think you're weird, right? Or the oddball, or really different. And there's that perception of you that you pick up on, because you're reading the energy, and you know that they're looking at you and they're kind of unsure of who you are or what you're about. And that can feel uncomfortable. So part of our skill set is the ability to sit and work with discomfort as it arises, and to not let it lower your personal energy for too long. Where yes, you can have the dips, you can have the times when things feel heavy and dense, but it's looking at, how do I raise this back up for myself? How do I take care of myself energetically? How do I do so without giving away what I need to the discomfort? Meaning, this is where you can look at your old programming and look at when there is discomfort, when there's even that awkward conversation, or you're sitting down at a table discussing something with someone and you're reading or feeling the energy and it just feels really off. It's how you manage that without over giving, without thinking you have to provide a solution or take care of all the energy. This is where you can practice energetic boundaries, where you can make sure that your aura feels bright and strong. This is where you can do an energy exercise that runs energy through all of your chakras and goes down your legs into the feet so that you feel grounded. This is where it's essential to develop practices that support your energy even when you're surrounded by that dis-ease or discomfort that can come up when you feel and know that you're energetically different. So this again is one thing that we have to continually manage and strengthen. Number 6 is based on your own sense of purpose in this lifetime. And maybe you're not clear on that yet, or maybe you've known it since you were 5 years old. It's different for everyone. But so much of this lifetime is about how much you believe in your ability to trust the unknown, because you're co-creating the next reality with the universe. And this can be something that is brand new at a soul level, where you are more of an active participant in co-creating the new energies, the new earth, the new reality, what is new for you. And you're doing so from a place of personal power, personal choice, and inspiration. So this is the energy of continually believing in your own cosmic power. And there can be times when you don't see it, when you don't feel it, when it just seems like nothing's happening, and it's easy to be discouraged, to be depressed, to be defeated, because we can also want things to happen faster than they do. But because you work on an energetic timeline and co-creating with the universe, which, by the way, everyone on the planet is doing as well. It just depends on their level of consciousness around it. But what you're actively practicing is how you continue to believe, even during those periods where you lose faith, or you don't feel like you can keep trusting, or you're like, I would just love any small sign to come through to remind me that I'm on the right path. You can ask for that. You can always ask for that. But this is an energy of continually trusting and reminding yourself you're not alone. So it's where we then have the ability to move closer to spirit, God, source, the universe, whatever you call it. You move closer to your guides. You move closer to your angels, or wherever you feel supported. Perhaps it's the higher self energy or the soul's energy field. You go there to strengthen up, to keep believing, to keep trusting, and to also receive support in return. So part of our ongoing life path is trusting in a really big way. I mean, this is the kind of trust that is all caps, all capital letters, bold, underlined, right? Like just plaster the word trust across everything you own, put it all over the fridge, all over your car dashboard. It's like this is the energy that is so big that it can also be challenging at times to keep trusting. And it could feel like you're even worn out from that word. But it's so key for us because we are energetically designed to do so. You are that strong, you are that capable, but it's easy to feel a disconnect from it and to just get tired of it. But we have to keep practicing what that looks like and what that means, because that's really going to nourish you. And it's also going to continually connect you to higher energies. And that's already what you're connected to. So think of that trust. Maybe it looks like a cord of some sort, and it's helping you connect to higher energies and higher frequencies continually. And especially when you're feeling low or defeated or uncertain, this is where you can basically plug it back in and feel that energy stream coming through. So number 7 here on this list is something that maybe you've struggled with or even have wondered about. And part of you is energetically coded to be really good at things that you take for granted. And these are things that you've done and you've had skills across multiple lifetimes, or it's been a passion, something that you've invested in, either in this lifetime or multiple lifetimes. It's something that you do really well and you forget you do it really well, and you can take it for granted. And you could even have a disconnect from this part of yourself because, again, you're like, I've always done this. It's always been easy for me. And you can have some misunderstandings around how your skills and gifts can really help people. And here's an example. I was talking with a friend of mine about her business and what she wanted to do next. And I asked her, have you ever considered teaching XYZ? And she said, well, yeah, but that's just so easy for me. I feel like everyone already knows how to do that. And I didn't think that would be something that people would want or enjoy. And I personally found it to be so exciting that she could teach certain topics that I would love to learn more about. But to her, it was so easy that she never even realized it was something she could offer. And this is the case for so many Starseeds, Lightworkers, Empath, healers, is that it's so easy for you that you overlook it. And I told her, well, that's what my story was with astrology. I never thought I would do astrology professionally because it's so easy for me. And I think I thought whatever I did professionally had to be more challenging. It had to be harder. It had to be something that tested me. But no, when you come in energetically coded with certain gifts and abilities and you're really good at it, it just flows. It just has its own life force that moves through you, and it's really easy. And this is how we create not only the life of our dreams, but the profession or job of our dreams that doesn't feel like a job. So this correlates to, we've been through the 3D systems, right? Where we've had certain roles, climb the ladder, you had to do some kind of review, you had to maybe ask for the salary raise, you had to demonstrate how good you were, whether that was in a sales job or something that showed your expertise, right? You had to demonstrate it, you had to keep proving it, you had to show up and get better, you were being evaluated. Well, here in these energies, in these higher energies, none of that's necessary in the same way. You came in with things that you're naturally good at, and that is where you're able to create a life that fits you. That's where you're able to use your talents in a way that support who you are, helps you make money, helps you feel grounded and strong on the planet, and it doesn't have those other challenges that we've experienced in 3D positions. So keep in mind that what you might be capable of doing professionally isn't going to feel like work, quote unquote, isn't going to feel like the job or what you were told work was supposed to be. And this is an area of our lives where we've had to really look at our belief systems, where you have held unconscious belief systems around what it means to make money, what it means to share your gifts or to offer services or healing, and to look at it through a different lens that says, this can be easy. This can just flow. This can be something I just show up and do every day, and it brings me joy. And it's that joy that ripples out, and it also infuses other people. This is also connecting to the pioneering energy of so many light workers, starseeds, and healers, is that you are able to create a business, a job, some kind of occupation or lifestyle for yourself that has more harmony, has more flow. It just has more ease. And you step out of the struggle. You step out of the ego's need to prove yourself, and instead you're trusting yourself. You're trusting your gifts and your abilities. You're trusting what you're capable of, and you're allowing that energy to guide you. So this is another thing that's very strong, is that we are receiving more cosmic support for these gifts, for your talents, for what you are uniquely designed to do. And keep in mind that for some of you, that could very much be within various 3D industries and structures, but you're bringing in an energy that's different. You're bringing in something that's of a higher vibration or frequency that's also being felt and shifting the energy in the office or at your desk or with your clients, with your customers. So it's always about the energy you bring in to an experience that matters. And for so many of you, you're really pioneering and changing what work means. It doesn't mean you have to work hard. And we did have that as a very strong belief system, especially during the industrial age, especially when factories were up and running. And it was typical to land a factory job, to have security, to get a mortgage, to raise a family. And all of that was very strong in the early 20th century, mid 20th century. But the energies have shifted so much that we're now able to create a new version of our lives with a new understanding of work, where it's not the same 4-letter word that maybe we thought it was going to be. Instead, it's a passion. It has ease. It has flow. It's something that you're here to do. And it really shifts your energy when you step into these parts of your gifts. And so all of this leads to number 8, which is that so many of you are here to elevate yourself, elevate your life, where you can now support others and inspire others based on your journey, based on what you've been through, where you have really stepped away from so many structures and belief systems and programming that has been on the planet for centuries. And now you're able to move it forward and offer new ways of living, new ways of enjoying life, new ways of experiencing peace and harmony on this planet that is desperately needed. So what we're doing is we're bringing in these energies into our daily lives, managing them on a regular basis, trusting ourselves on a regular basis, and understanding that this is how other people also start to experience shifts and changes, either by witnessing you and how you're going through your life, or starting to ask questions, or maybe getting curious about, so what do you do all day if you're not working at a desk 9 to 5? Or how do you spend your time? How do you make money? How are you living this life that's so different than what we've been taught or told? And this is where you can also open up other people to what is possible for them, things that they never thought about, things they never considered. But when they see you demonstrating it, when they see you living a good life for yourself, that is inspiration alone. That is where, again, they might even have a discomfort, right? Because they don't understand. How can this work? How can you do this? This isn't traditional. This isn't what other people do. But you're able to say, well, actually, this is how I spend my time. This is how I'm of service, or what I do every day. And it works. It's how I am using my energy in the way I'm uniquely designed to do. So this point is about really embracing how you're different, how that is about being a pioneer, how that is about showing up differently in your life, in your world, in the world at large. And that creates a ripple effect. That is part of how we are creating this new experience on the planet of what it means to live a good life. And that is one of the blessings of being the Starseed, the Lightworker, even the one who is very different from everyone else in your family, or everyone else in your friend group, or everyone else around you. It's how you're actually receiving very unique blessings and energetic supports, because that's where your energetic frequency is at. And then the 9th and final point that I will make in this podcast is about the necessity for ongoing self-care to support your energy system, where instead of perhaps doing, providing, or assisting others in their energies, you're practicing what it means to contain your energy, to have clear boundaries, to be aware of yourself, to understand when you're overdoing, overgiving, over-providing, when you can feel, let's say, an energetic void in a situation and you're the first one to say, I'll take care of it, or I'll handle it. First, instead, you want to ask yourself, do I need to use my energy in this way? Is this the best use of my energy at this time? Is this how I really want to use my energy? Or am I in an unconscious habit or pattern of always helping other people, of maybe always being available or always being of service? And is that still working for me? Is that really what's best for me? And these are the questions that we ask ourselves. And these are also where we can practice being observers of ourselves, observers of our life, of our patterns, of our interactions with others, and to determine, is this what I want to do with my energy at this time, in this place, or with this person? So keep in mind that your energy is very valuable. And that's where you're learning to manage it and to work with it from a higher perspective, as well as understand what is worth your time, energy, and attention and what is not. And many Lightworkers, Starseeds, healers, you've had multiple lifetimes of being at service or in service to humanity. It's just second nature to you. You want to help out. You want to be of assistance. And this could be in the small ways, such as with your family members, or this could be on a larger scale. And it's almost like it's so deeply ingrained that if you don't help, you could feel guilty, or you could feel like I should have done that, or I should have stepped up or contributed. But what you're reprogramming, or at least being more aware of, is that you are powerful, but so is everyone else. And when you have clear boundaries around what is your responsibility and what is not, you're allowing other people to know their own energy, to know their own strength and their own capability, where instead of you maybe helping out or assisting them with something, well, now they have an opportunity to figure it out themselves, to learn something new, to do it differently, to develop a strength. Maybe they have the ability now to understand what they're not good at or what they need to experience on their own. So it can feel like you are withholding. It can feel difficult at first. You could feel like, oh, I should be in there. I should be assisting them. But what you're learning is that it's not your responsibility. It's not your responsibility to take on everything or to care for everyone. It is your responsibility to manage your energy. And you can be operating from a place of beautiful intentions when you allow others to take care of their own stuff, to step into their own power or their own sense of self. This can be a beautiful gift. So you can rework this mentally, emotionally, and energetically by understanding that when you're managing your own energy and you're not overdoing it, you're not over providing, you're not over giving, you're allowing another person to really step into more of who they are. And that is a gift. So you can see this as an energetic gift, which at first could feel uncomfortable. So after going through all 9 of these points, I hope that some of them resonated with you or that were validating of your own life experience and your own energies. I hope this helped provide some clarity around how you are uniquely designed to be different and why that's so vital right now, why it's needed, because it's in these differences that we move the energetic experience forward, that we bring in new energies onto the planet, that we're really awakening to all of the wisdom within us, to everything that is existing with you, even at a cellular and molecular level of your being. It's like there's things that are coming alive right now, and it's designed to do so. And that's why you are different, why you are needed, and why this is so valuable, why it's so essential that Lightworkers, Starseeds, Empaths, healers, energy guides, all understand that this is part of how the earth is growing and how humanity is growing and evolving as well. We are shifting important paradigms. We're doing it together, and we're doing it from a place of higher consciousness. And it's going to continue to unfold throughout this decade especially. This is a decade where Lightworkers and Starseeds are really coming alive, have the ability to be more successful, to really live life on your own terms, to be in that place of simple joy, happiness, peace, harmony, because you're in alignment with yourself, you're connected to the bigger energy streams, and you have an understanding of why you're here on the planet at this time. And I know that's been something that can be really troubling and disheartening for many, especially if you have felt very lonely or you felt like no one else gets you. That is a belief system you can change, and you can rewrite it where you really amplify what you want to create. You amplify the fact that you're connected to millions of other energetic beings and that you're never alone. You're always connected. You're always supported, and that you're deeply loved just for being here now. So these energies are going to continue to come in throughout December 2021, although you can be listening to this podcast at any time and resonating with these energies as well. So certainly trust whatever feels right for you, but know that you are supported. You are receiving new downloads of support, and that this alone can be very exciting and motivating for your experience on the planet in this lifetime. So as always, thank you so much for joining me for this podcast episode. I'll be back every Wednesday and Monday for a new show. And I also have new videos for you every Friday on my YouTube channel. You can find out more about me over at mollymccord.online. And that's where I have all of my latest courses, programs, and books. Oh, and by the way, I should throw in that I was hesitant to do astrology for at least 5 years because I was really focused on writing books, and I've written 10, and I really thought that would be more of where I would go. But the energies opened up into astrology. The energies said, move to astrology. And so that's what unfolded for me, even though I resisted it, even though I thought I was going to focus on something else. So just know that part of your gifts, again, it's going to feel different because it's going to be outside of your programming, perhaps that you grew up with or that you were taught. But when you go into the energy streams and you trust yourself, you're going to find some beautiful answers and also some beautiful universal support. So thank you for joining me. I'll see you back here soon for another podcast episode. I hope that you have a beautiful day ahead, and I look forward to connecting with you again very soon.